Good morning, dear students. Now we shall start with Unit B, and the name of the chapter is Metals and Non-Metals. Now we shall understand what are metals and non-metals. Previously we had understood what is electrometallurgy, then electrorefining, that was the chapter, electrolysis, right? So the Unit B, it deals with metals and non-metals. Now we are going to understand what are metals and non-metals, right? So all the elements you see, the elements, they are divided into three parts, three categories. So first one is metals, second is the metalloids, and the third is the non-metals. Okay? So elements can be divided into further three categories: the metals, the metalloids, and the non-metals. Now let us understand what are metals. Generally, the general of the physical qualities which we are going to understand about metals is that all the metals, they are solids, in the state of solid, right? And for example, we shall take what are some of the common metals. For example, Na, that is sodium, K, that is potassium, Fe, that is iron. So these are some of the common metals. They are basically in the solid states. The first and foremost properties that we are going to understand, through which we can say yes, it is a metal, are that they appear in the solid state, right? Now what are metalloids? You see, the metalloids, since they are mixtures of metals and non-metals, so they have the both properties of metals and non-metals. Okay, like some of the common metalloids, arsenic, right, and some other we shall discuss afterwards. Then what are non-metals? Right? As you can see, non-metals, they can be either solid, liquid, or gas. Okay, so the non-metals can be in the state of solid, liquid, or in the gaseous state. And what are some of the common examples? Sulfur, oxygen, bromine, etc. So what I have told you all, that elements can be divided into three categories: the metals, the metalloids, and the non-metals. Okay. So what are metals? Metals are basically in the solid form. Okay. And for example, we have got sodium, potassium, iron, etc. Copper, iron, etc. Then metalloids, they have both the properties of metals and non-metals, right? And what are non-metals? They can be in the solid, liquid, or gaseous state. For example, sulfur, oxygen, and bromine. Now one by one we should discuss the properties of metals, the metalloids, and the non-metals. Now students, we shall be discussing the physical properties of metals and non-metals. What are the physical properties? Physical properties means by seeing, by their appearance. What are the properties that we can understand, right? About the metals and non-metals. So we will understand that all the metals, as I told you while I was categorizing, that all the metals are solid in state. The state is solid except that of mercury, Hg. Hg is the symbol of mercury has the symbol of Hg. So except mercury, it is in the liquid state. All the metals, they are in the solid states. Whereas the non-metals, all of them, they are either in the solid state, liquid state, or gaseous state. It can be any of the states, right? So all the metals, they are in the solid state except mercury, and all the non-metals may be in the solid, liquid, or gaseous state, right? Now the second quality that we are going to understand is all the metals are malleable. Malleable is the property which means that the metals can be drawn into sheets, right? Sheets, they can be drawn into sheets. So all the metals, they are malleable, and all the non-metals, they are non-malleable. The non-metals cannot be drawn into sheets, right? So the third property is all the metals, they are ductile. Ductile means they can be drawn into wires. Wires can be made like copper wires we have got, you have seen. So copper wires, then iron, it can also be drawn into wires. Okay. So metals are all ductile, that is they can be drawn into wires. They are all malleable, they can be drawn into sheets. Okay. Whereas the non-metals, they are non-ductile. They cannot be drawn into wires. The non-metals, they cannot be drawn into wires, right? Then the fourth property is they are highly tensile. They are highly tensile. That is, they can be stretched or they can be elongated. Right? Tensile means उनको खींचा जा सकता है. Okay? So metals are all, they are tensile, whereas the non-metals have got low tensility. Okay? Then next is all the metals, they are lustrous. They have got a shine. Luster means shine. They are shiny. All of them are good conductors of heat. Right? That is, electricity can be passed through it. They are good conductors of electricity. And they are hard. Since they are solid in state, so they are hard. Okay? The molecules are closely packed. They are the properties. And the non-metals, they are non-lustrous, non-shiny. They are bad conductors of electricity. They do not conduct electricity. And they are soft. Right? So they can be in the solid, liquid or gaseous state. Hence they are soft. Okay? By touch. And metals are hard while you touch them. So these are some of the physical properties of metals and non-metals. Now we shall understand the chemical properties of metals and non-metals. Now we shall understand, students, the chemical properties of metals and non-metals. Right? We had discussed previously the physical properties, and now we shall discuss what are the chemical properties of metals and non-metals. When they react with water, when they react with oxygen, when they react, what are the agents that they are going to form and what is going to be liberated. The chemical properties, the actual constituents which are going to change while it's chemically reacting with the agents, right? So in metals you see, what happens, the first property we'll discuss, they lose or donate electrons to form positive ions. So what do? They lose. Either they lose, they donate, right, electrons to form positive ions. Now this, you see, Na is sodium. Now it gives away one electron, right? One electron is extra in sodium. So this electron, if it will give this electron, it will form a positive atom, right? Sodium atom to form a positive ion, it will donate one electron. So this property metals have got. They lose or donate electrons to form positive ions. Right? This is the first property. Now here in the non-metals you see, these gain or accept electrons. They either gain or they accept. They take electrons to form a negative ion. Right? Like we have got chlorine. Right? So it will gain, it will accept. Right? One electron to form chlorine negative ion to stabilize itself, right? So non-metals, they will gain or accept electrons to form negative ions. Like chlorine, we have taken one atom of chlorine, it is accepting, it is taking one electron which has got negative charge to form chlorine negative atom, right? So it gains and accepts, and metals will lose or donate. They will give away one electron to form a positive ion. It forms a positive ion here and it forms a negative ion here by gaining or accepting. Right? This is the first property. Now coming to the second property, you see, first is done, second property, they combine with oxygen. They will combine with oxygen to form basic oxides. Right? They combine with oxygen to form the basic oxides. Okay? Like we have one example given today, sodium. It combines with oxygen, SO2. So what it will form? Sodium oxide. It will form sodium oxide. This we have done the balancing, right? So O2, so it will be 2 here, 2O, and Na2 over here. This is balanced, okay? So sodium plus oxygen, it will give Na2. It is forming the basic oxide of it. Now here, non-metals, they will combine with oxygen to form acidic oxides. They form not basic oxides, but they form acidic oxides. Like carbon will combine with oxygen, O2, to give CO2. What is CO2? What is CO2? It's carbon dioxide, right? Carbon dioxide. So we see here, that is this, you see, the second property. The metals will combine with oxygen to form basic oxides, I told you. They form basic oxides. and here they combine with oxygen to form acidic oxides. Right? C plus O2 will give carbon dioxide CO2. Now the third property you see, they react, the metals, they will react with cold water. What is the formula of water? H2O. So the metals will react with cold water to displace hydrogen. What do they do when they react with water? They displace hydrogen. That is, hydrogen is liberated or given out. Now we see this example, sodium plus H2O. Sodium plus H2O, that's reaction with water. What will happen? It will form NaOH. That's sodium hydroxide, and H is given out, H2 is given out, right? So, react with cold water to displace hydrogen. Here, hydrogen is displaced over here, right? It's given out, that's liberated. Now here in this case, non-metals, they do not react with water. Simple. The non-metals, they do not react with water, and the metals, they react with cold water to displace hydrogen. That is, when they are reacting with water, H2O, they will displace hydrogen. That is, they will liberate or give out hydrogen. That is, sodium plus H2O will give out NaOH, sodium hydroxide plus hydrogen. That is given out. So these are some of the chemical properties of metals. So we have discussed what are metals, non-metals, and we have discussed the physical properties and the chemical properties. I hope they are clear with you.